What's up, guys? Today I'm showing y'all an install I did on a 6x13 bathroom floor. As you can see, it has Schluter. So the thin set I'm putting down is Schluter All Set. You have to scorch it and then go back and rake it with the trowel. I used a ton of spacers for this floor. They are self-leveling spacers, 1/16 in size. These were porcelain tiles. They were actually decently heavy, but they are 15 by 30 in size. And the cool thing is they lined up perfectly from the wall to the vanity, so I didn't have to make cuts there. And you'll see that here in a second. It's been a bit since I did just flooring, especially with a large format tile like this, but my back was feeling it quite a bit the next day. Measuring out for the cut, and then I will take it outside and cut it on the wet saw. I know, I need to get a new wet saw, and I really need to get a tile saw that's more for large format tile, because I had to maneuver around the blade quite a bit, and that was tricky. Sometimes I just like messing around at work, makes the day go by faster, as you can see here, and it doesn't always go so well. So you can see the size of tile here, it's pretty big. Mary for scale. And then you can see here I got the new blade, which is a DeWalt. It's a 10-inch, and it's a tile blade. So, I mean, it's pretty smooth, and it cuts through pretty good. I'm a big fan of anything Milwaukee or DeWalt. I know people fight on it, but I like both. You can see here that I staircase the tiles just to keep going down the line. It made it a little bit easier for me and faster just to keep going. Some people won't do that, but I think it just depends on what you like to do and what your preference is as a tile setter. And that was a very lucky catch. Lots of thin set, and to keep going down the line, and it's time to make measurements around this corner. I call this one like a Oklahoma cut because it ended up looking like the state itself. You'll see it here. I'll show the camera. You can see it here, it's just really fast. Making measurements for around the toilet, which wasn't too hard. I didn't have a grinder with me to use, so I made it a square cut instead of a circle, but it'll be covered up, so it's totally fine. Now this one was a little bit tricky, and probably why I need a large format tile saw. But you'll see that it takes a lot of precision, and this was at nighttime because I was there all day because I wanted to get this finished for the client. Now, the first tile I used for this actually snapped in half when I was trying to move it, so I had to redo the whole thing. But this is the end product one, so you'll get to see it go out pretty smooth. But I will say this blade is awesome. I really recommend it. Now at the end, because I didn't have a grinder with me, I used the DeWalt 3-inch cutoff tool that I have, which is like my favorite tool right now. I can't recommend this one enough either. It's very precise and like a really tiny little blade, right? So I cut around and it got that piece out really easily. Sliding it very carefully under the trim and around the spacers is always tricky, and sometimes it snaps, so you have to be very, very careful with the small pieces on the edge. This right here is what I was talking about earlier, where it lined up flush, and that's perfect. It almost never happens that way, so maybe 2 or 3 times I've seen it happen since I've laid tile. And you guys always say I'm never dirty, but this is kind of proof that I am. Flooring, I get a lot messier usually than any other kind of tile setting. It just goes that way for me somehow. I don't know how, but it does. The grouting went pretty fast because the lines are very small, and it was not a huge room, so it went really quickly. I actually enjoy grouting more now than I used to, maybe because I've just gotten quicker at it. And this is the first pass through with the sponge, mainly getting up all the loose pieces or anything that's dried up, and then it'll have a haze and go through a second time. You can see here, and there's another wipe down pass, and then I'll do another one after this the next day, and that's everything.